Cypher PK video today, chat. It's Papa Cypher. What was the greatest Fortnite season? Alright.
Lock in.
First take before the video even starts.
If you don't think that the first Marvel season was the best season, you're lying to yourself.
What was Fortnite's prime?
Past 2020, actually. Past 2022, Fortnite was trash.
It's always been a fierce debate, but today I know how to settle it because I asked you guys questions about each season in the biggest poll in Fortnite history. And here's what's crazy. The Fortnite community has a clear answer.
Run it back. Hold on.
Fortnite history. And here's what's crazy. The Fortnite community.
Fortnite Cubed, bro. Hold on.
Yeah, Fortnite Cube was the best Fortnite season, bro.
Fortnite Cube was so fire. When they had Carnage. Like, when they had the Venom and Carnage symbiotes, it was so fire. It was a great season, honestly.
Community has a clear answer, but it's definitely not what I thought. So to figure out what its prime really was, we have to go back through Fortnite history and start in season 1. Fortnite was basically an experiment thrown together in just a couple of weeks by Epic. They launched it in September 2017, and millions of players would experience greatness. It was a lot of fun, but this wasn't even really a season. Instead, there was a season pass with the first skins in Fortnite. There were a ton of bugs and glitches, and the guns just did way too much damage. But Epic were quickly fixing things, and
if you see in videos, bro, like, the guns would, like, that scar right there would, like, two-tap you immediately. It'd be like, click, click, and then you're dead. Like, you were cooked.
Players remember it fondly. They were communicating every single week and making balance changes and fixes, and the community really appreciated that. And so overall, people really can't dislike this season. It's the beginning of it all, and we see that in the data.
Who started the fact that, that when you crouch, you have better aim? Was that always a feature? Was that always a feature, bro?
Yeah. I asked people to rate this season out of 10, and it looks like the average score was around an 8.5 out of 10. And quite frankly, I agree with that rating. This season was really short, and we quickly went into winter of 2017 with
bro, 2020 Winterfest, bro.
Season 2. This was our first real season. It had a medieval themed battle pass with the Black Knight and of course, new POIs. I bet a lot of people don't even know what the OG map looked like before Tilted Towers. Because this is when Fortnite really started getting popular and there were really no complaints. We also got mini shields, boogie bombs, and the 50 versus 50 game mode, which took everyone by surprise. Every little thing they added to the game felt extremely.
Yo, this reminds me, bro. Playing the Cube season, bro.
This was the worst. Hold on. This was the worst weapon to ever be introduced to the game. Either this hit for 74 to the head and 60 to the body. This got more powerful as you shot it. And the more you overheat it, the stronger it got. And they both had infinite ammo. It's the dumbest thing ever, bro. I get lasered by this, I'd box up, and then I get sprayed. People were having this as their loadout, and then, like, 6 spots of chuck splashes. It's so annoying.
Extremely crazy. Something as simple as the silence pistol or even the impulse nades had people going crazy with different clips. Squads were having fun with the new minigun, and when the Valentine's Day update dropped, we all pretended like the Cupid's crossbow was actually useful, even though it was probably one of the worst items they ever added. Getting a win back then felt so amazing. You had to share it to your Snapchat or Instagram, and all your friends were asking you to hop on so you could squad up. So it was no surprise to me when I asked you guys to rate this season out of 10, it got a 9 out of 10. There wasn't much debate. It's actually really cool to see your answers match the season so well, but if a lot of seasons receive a 9 or 10 rating, how will we figure out which one is the best? Well, using all of your answers together, there's a pretty cool final conclusion that I'll go over once I've gone over all the seasons. But get ready, because we're about to enter Fortnite's first Prime Season 3. Now we have our first full battle pass. The last one was
Yo, I just realized that this video is 48 minutes long. We're gonna skip to where I actually started playing.
Don't remember this season that fondly, and you guys rated this one a 7, which is fair, but considering that you guys were handing out so many 10s, I think this might be slightly low. But now you guys have been waiting for this one. Fortnite's anti-prime Fortnite season 6.
Yo, this killed Fortnite, bro. Like, everybody stopped playing Fortnite competitively this season because it was so trash.
You guys did not hold back. This started off with a pre-season story event, which I thought was okay, but didn't really hit the mark
Oh my god, it's The Rock.
as far as live events go. We had a brand new biome, which was interesting and new, but that's really all it had going for it because building in those biomes was ridiculous. We had a ton of new content like bows, primal weapons, and crafting. It was definitely an interesting premise.
Bro, y'all remember when, what's that one clip? I swear. It's where they added animals.
But
Oh, fuck you, pig! Fucking chicken.
did the chicken was like, yo?
I have 1 HP, so...
No, it was the, I just died to, it was like a competitive. It was like, I just died to a fucking chicken. Blood was so mad. And the shark to jump out the
There was
water.
a lot of interesting items, but for some reason, the combination of everything just was not fun. The primal shotgun was obviously OP and just broken. Competitive was fun, but the gunplay and the meta on the map it just didn't work well. And let's not forget the very forgettable mythic boots that they added, which were very hard to obtain and were completely useless. This definitely gets memed as one of the worst seasons ever, and I think you guys might have been a little bit harsh on this one with all the 1 out of 10 votes, and people ended up rating this one around a 4 out of 10, and for that, I definitely agree. But thankfully, Fortnite ends up redeeming themselves with Season 7. This one I think is
Yo, when the UFO would grab you off the map.
quite strong. They got rid of all the primal stuff and the primal POI, and this season had some of the most
Rick Sanchez was in the battle pass.
creative content I've
I think this was the Carnage season. The Carnage season and the Rick season.
ever seen. We had the Propifier, the Gravitron, the UFOs, the plasma
UFO.
cannon, the alien nanite cubes. It was like they told everyone at Epic, guys, this was our last chance to do an alien themed season. Just go crazy. And they did. They dropped the mothership minigame.
Yeah, the mothership minigame where it would suck you up and you'd get like crazy loot.
Which completely changes the pace of the battle royale, and people loved it. We also, of course, had the signature weapon of the season, the railgun, which was a very fun weapon. It was a little bit OP, but very memorable. This season had a ton of content and ended with a pretty fire end of season event. Unfortunately, though, we got clickbaited.
Superman was the... Which one was Superman was the secret skin? Is this season?
And the map wouldn't be completely destroyed the next season, which kind of makes us remember it a little bit differently. If this dropped during lockdown, I think people would regard this as a prime season, but since it dropped kind of in a slower paced era right after Primal when a lot of people stopped playing, it doesn't get remembered as well, and you guys ended up rating it a 7 or 8, which I think kind of makes it underrated. I think the season's a little bit better than that. Now, if the last season was overlooked, I think this one should have maybe received...
No, I think this one was the one where Superman was the Superman was the Seeker skin.
Received even more hate. Fortnite Season 8 Cubed. Started off.
Yeah, this was it. This was it. No. Last season, because I used this skin and this skin as my two main skins. I think last season was Superman, and then this season was Carnage. Yeah.
Very disappointing, because when we logged in, we saw that the map had not changed at all from a very dramatic live event that just happened. There were the new sideways weapons that you could upgrade.
It was so annoying. It was so annoying.
There were some cool new items like the armored walls, which was pretty unique, and the sideways scythe. The caretaker was a cool boss to find in the sideways, but eventually people started ignoring the sideways, and a lot of the sideways weapons were not even really used. We also had the return of Kevin. Actually, there were a lot of them rolling around the map, spreading this orange color to anything they touched. But to be honest, it was kind of an eyesore, and in my opinion, the map just did not look good. It was just a mess, especially towards the end. The cube pyramid in the center was cool, but didn't actually feel super fun to hot drop at because you couldn't farm anything and there wasn't a lot of loot there. It did have the Naruto collab, which was one of my favorite animes, but now that we've had a few anime collabs, you kind of look back and you realize that they did Naruto dirty because he did not get a decent mythic weapon. You guys ended up getting...
He got that little like throwing thing and it explode, but it only do like 30 damage, so it'd be like, and you only got 8 of them in like every mythic, so it wouldn't even do anything.
Giving this season a 6 or 7, but to be honest, I think that's a little bit generous. I think this season could have easily been the meme bad season, but I guess not a lot of players were actually playing. This season ended with a live event, which could have been
The Rock.
one of the coolest live events ever if it wasn't
And then they flipped it over.
spoiled a day early by Fortnite themselves. Seeing the map literally flip in front of our eyes was absolutely crazy. And
My question was, hold on. What happened to the, because if it was flipping, what happened to this piece in the middle? Because you can see like map stuff in the middle. What happened to this piece in the middle? Because we were over here during invasion season. What happened to this piece in the middle, bro?
seeing the map literally flip in front of our eyes was absolutely crazy, and it led us into chapter 3. This surprisingly
Spider-Man.
was Fortnite's third prime. It was a fantastic season.
Yeah.
This surprisingly was
This skin, I swear, this skin was everybody's main skin that season. Not a lot of people wore Spider-Man. This was everybody's main skin. Is this skin, and then it'd be the black suit Spider-Man.
Fortnite's third prime. It was a fantastic season with a brand new map themed around the 7, and it had so many things going
You know, the tornado was so annoying. I'd hit somebody for like 82, and then the tornado would drop down.
for it to succeed. The stale chapter 2 loot pool was refreshed with all new weapons, and there were so many great quality of life
Med Mist.
changes. The med mist, guzzle juice, and shield canisters were a
I forgot about Guzzle Juice. I remember shield canisters. I forgot about Guzzle Juice.
nice addition. We also got sliding, which was a great movement mechanic, and of course the main item we were all hyped
Spider-Man web shooters.
for, the Spider-Man mythics. And when they came out, they were exactly what we dreamed of. It worked so well. People were saying that it worked even better than actual Spider-Man and Marvel games. We also got the introduction of victory crowns and tents. And we had Sergeant Winter rolling around the map because it was covered in ice. But as the ice melted, we started getting excited because we noticed one area looked suspiciously like tilted towers. And on one random update, we got it back in its full glory. And a few weeks later,
Colombo.
another amazing feature was unveiled by the Snow, Colombo, and the community went crazy for him. The meta and gunplay was
Yeah, I remember when they took Colombo out, bro. I was so mad when they took Colombo out. I was so mad.
fun, even though I remember shotguns being slightly weak. Viewership and
You remember this gun right here?
Was the most goated gun in the entire game. Easiest to use, best gun I've ever used in my entire life.
interest in Fortnite was at an all-time high again, and so many players had fond memories of them
Oh my god, Winterfest. Was this the Peely skin, or is this that frozen Peely skin?
playing this during Fortnite Winterfest of 2021. You guys rated the
Was this the frozen Peely skin?
season a 10, and this season is known as the third prime of Fortnite, so I definitely agree with that rating. And next up, we have Fortnite Chapter 3 Season 2, and
That's when they took building out.
Epic took a huge risk. They announced the beginning of the season would remove building.
And there was no build mode. It was just you couldn't build at all. And then everybody got mad, and they were like, okay, we're going to have a separate mode where you can build or you cannot build. And this is what separated most of my friendships, because I had a friend group that played builds like a normal person. I also had a couple friends that played 0 builds. So every Friday, I would play with the builds kids first. And then around 10 p.m., they'd all hop off. And then I would have to go play with the 0 build guys. Because that's how you keep friendships alive, chat.
This was insane. But thankfully, they added overshield, sprinting, and mantling into the game. It was very
Ghirardelli caramel squares.
Really, Cypher?
done, and a lot of OG players who got tired of the sweaty build meta
This is my favorite sniper, and if you say it's not a good sniper, you're lying to yourself.
returned during this season. I also think that the blimps and cannons on them were a super fun way to move around the map. I had a ton of great fights in the blimps, and even though the season was a war-themed season, due to real-life circumstances, Fortnite was maybe a little bit hesitant to lean too much into the war stuff. We got tanks, the armored battle bus, but something tells me there was more planned that ended up getting scrapped. The initial 0 build hype was awesome, but at the tail end of it, it kind of started to dry out. Thankfully, Epic ended it off with a great
I loved this live event. It was so fire.
live event. The mech returned to save the island, and we got some cool story progression, which led absolutely nowhere. Like, it didn't lead to anything. We have no idea what happened to Jonesy or the Foundation, but overall,
The Rock.
you guys rated this one a 7 out of 10. I would definitely say the first half of this season was definitely included in Fortnite's third prime, but as you guys can see, next
I hated this season.
season is definitely not extending it. Fortnite Chapter 3 Season 3. It was called Vibin', which had a really stylish and cool battle pass, and
Those wolves. I would play Fortnite with my sister, and the only thing she wanted to do was breed a wolf and ride it around the map. She didn't care about winning. She didn't care about picking up guns. That's all she wanted to do.
And you would have to get that hunter's cloak, bro.
addition of Chrome, I like the whole creative aspect of phasing through walls, and I think the evil Chrome weapons upgrading by doing damage was unique, but the weapons themselves were kind of mid. And looking back, most people didn't really use the Chrome that much, and the evil Chrome weapons were used even less. They also added slide kicking this season, and the battle pass was a little bit weak. Thankfully, my skin kind of saved the day. There wasn't a lot of memorable updates, and we had a very mid Fortnitemares event. But they had somewhat of a chance to redeem themselves with the end of chapter finale, because people
Bullseye skin.
were very hyped to find out that we were actually going to end this chapter in just 4 seasons. But the live event to end this chapter was easily the worst live event.
It was so mid. All right, let me just go back.
Me and Gabe, y'all know Gabe from some streams, set at this portal, at this little island.
People had came and gone. They were going and they were leaving. We sat there for 3 hours. The timer had ended after us waiting for 2 hours, and we waited another hour to get into the live event.
Live event to end this chapter was
And we sat there doing a little campfire emote, and we scrolled on YouTube and watched and looked at people's lives. We looked at Nick 830s and that FaZe Kids live and watched them play the live event.
easily the worst live event Fortnite had ever done. They hyped up the Herald as this big villain, but she ended up dying in a very quick and short cutscene, and then we ended up just doing creative
Kaboom.
quests on a weird, like, floating, objects. It felt Very rushed. It was not interesting. People were scratching their head. And for the first time, I actually agreed with everyone saying that the event was terrible. And it was terrible. You guys ended up rating this one a 6. And in my opinion, that's a little bit generous. Even though my skin came out, I still think it's very generous. Fortnite was not in its prime, but thankfully, it would start to get some momentum back in Fortnite Chapter 4 Season 1. We got a whole new set of weapons and some new iconic ones. The Slap Juice, the Shockwave Hammer, the Excalibur, and it all came together with augments. And when they came out, they were super...
I hated augments, bro. The only good augment was this one and Bloodhound.
For fun, because getting specific ones actually allowed for some very interesting and unique gameplay styles. Some were very strong and it felt like you were picking things that were actually useful. This season did have a ton of bugs though. There was a lot of ways to get cheesy wins, a lot of bugs that were getting abused, and some weren't getting patched because Epic was on their winter vacation. I do remember the gunplay being fun, and the main thing was how strong the Red Eye Assault Rifle was. I mean, this was back when we had hit scan, and this thing was doing 40 plus damage per bullet, and it was very, very accurate and insanely good. We also got a sick new update midway through the Heisted event, which brought
This gun, bro. This gun.
I hated that gun.
Frick that gun. It's still in creative. I be playing creative maps and getting beamed from across the map with this, bro.
in tons of exotics and was an excellent refresh for this season. I think the season was a pretty solid season 1, and you guys ended up rating it a 7 or 8. So maybe not a prime, but it was definitely a good start to the chapter. And thankfully, we had a new season to get excited for. Season 2, Mega. This season started off hot. We got a huge POI, Mega City, the biggest POI we have ever seen. We had the addition of the grind rails. Fighting in this POI felt like an actual movie. A bunch of new theme POIs around the map, combat caches, and the floating island returning as a mid-game objective, a throwback to the floating island from Chapter 1. We also got some iconic items, the Havoc Shotgun, the Kinetic Blade, which was a simple...
Fortnite fell off here, bro. Fortnite right here fell off. On to the next video, since y'all are spamming. Skip.